Welcome to today's Masterclass Explainer. Let's dive right into the essential, unwritten rules of the modern workplace. I am so thrilled you've joined me today, class, because we are looking at the absolute foundation of professional success. It's not just about what you know, it is very much about how you interact with the people around you. Today, we're taking a structured, academic approach to understanding how our conduct can literally make or break our careers. In an era where everyone has similar technical skills, your mastery of interpersonal dynamics is what's going to set you apart as a leader. All right, here is our syllabus for today. We will be covering 1. Welcome to the workplace. 2. The rules of etiquette. 3. Cross-cultural awareness. 4. Gender perceptions. And 5. Putting it all together. Let's get this masterclass started, shall we? Section 1. Welcome to the workplace. Let's set the stage here. We hear the phrase company culture thrown around a lot, right? But what does that actually mean day to day? Well, as we see here, a well-defined professional behavior code is what truly creates a conducive work environment. Think of it like this. When a whole organization shares an understanding of polite behavior, the everyday interpersonal friction just kind of disappears. It's like oil in an engine. It allows the entire workforce to focus their energy entirely on being productive, rather than navigating unnecessary conflicts or misunderstandings. Basically, good structure provides the freedom to innovate. Moving on to Section 2, the rules of etiquette. Let's break down the tangible stuff. Your appearance is absolutely your first impression. Good grooming, a suitable wardrobe, even just having clean nails. These all show you actually respect your organization's image. And hey, basic dental hygiene is huge. Nobody wants to be trapped in a close-quarter meeting with someone who has bad breath, right? Managing things like body odor without going overboard on the cologne ensures a neutral, distraction-free space. Oh, and class, never underestimate the power of simply wearing a pleasant expression. It immediately signals that you're approachable and lowers the defensive barriers of everyone you meet. Now, beyond how we look, there's how we speak. Take a look at this common scenario. Instead of barking, "Shut up, Maturi, you're disturbing me," workplace etiquette dictates we politely ask, "Maturi, would you mind speaking softly?" The underlying message is exactly the same. You need quiet to focus. But the delivery? That's what separates an amateur from a total professional. It's all about conveying your needs with absolute tact. And what about physical boundaries? Notice how bending uncomfortably close to a colleague's face is a massive no-go? Body language speaks volumes. If you're reviewing a document and hovering over someone, it creates instant psychological discomfort. You're invading their personal space. Instead, pull up a chair, sit at a polite distance. That simple action shifts the whole dynamic from an intimidating oversight to an actual collaborative partnership. Okay, here's one that might seem trivial, but it's a real game changer. Do not eat someone else's lunch just because you forgot yours. You've got to arrange for your own food. Etiquette fundamentally revolves around respecting shared environments and other people's property. Whether it's returning a borrowed stapler, keeping a shared desk meticulously clean, or leaving a coworker's sandwich alone, respect for shared resources is paramount. But here is something I want you all to ponder for a second. What happens when your perfectly acceptable etiquette is suddenly viewed as highly offensive in a different country? That brings us to Section 3, cross-cultural awareness. In today's globalized world, this is non-negotiable. The rules of the game can change the second you log onto an international video call. So the absolute first rule of cultural awareness: refrain from assuming one way is wrong and the other is right. If people do things differently from you, they aren't making an error. They're just running a different operating system. We have to adapt our own user interface to collaborate smoothly, rather than passing immediate judgment. Let's examine this matrix of global greetings. It's fascinating. We see folded hands or touching feet in India, a firm handshake in the West, bowing in Japan and Korea, air kissing in France, and a shoulder hold or hug in the Middle East. If you extend a hand for a firm Western handshake, that's perfectly normal to you. But knowing your Japanese counterpart expects a deliberate bow ensures you don't accidentally kick off a business relationship with massive cultural awkwardness. And please take note of these specific physical gestures and gifting nuances. For example, Koreans find it disrespectful to hand objects over using just one hand. You have to use two. Also, the French? They give flowers in odd numbers, but never, ever 13. And they fully expect gifts to be opened immediately in front of the giver. These little nuances matter so much when building international trust. Verbal communication styles vary wildly too. In the USA, a subordinate addressing a boss by their first name is super common. But hop over to England, and seniors are expected to be addressed much, much more formally. Navigating this requires a keen ear. A master communicator doesn't force their own cultural norms onto the room. They observe and they adapt based on the context. Here's another great example. Asking personal questions in India, that's a sign of closeness. It shows you're genuinely taking an interest. But do that in Britain, and it's often viewed as an inappropriate attempt to place someone on the social or class scale. Same exact intention, totally opposite reception. So that covers global cultures beautifully, but it naturally leads us to our next inquiry. Beyond a cultural geography, how do internal systemic challenges affect different demographic groups sitting right next to each other in the exact same office? Let's get into Section 4, Gender Perceptions and Equity. We're going to take a strictly academic look at workplace equity here. The source material is very clear on this. Organizations must provide equal opportunities based solely on a person's credentials. This is regardless of societal nurturing or personal preferences. A truly professional environment eliminates discriminatory hiring practices completely. Merit, qualifications, and credentials have to be the sole deciding factors in building a capable workforce. We also need to define the gender pay gap. This is the persistent disparity where women receive lower compensation than men for producing similar work or holding the exact same designation. Despite more women entering the workforce across all fields, this gap remains a well-documented challenge that companies need to actively rectify to achieve true structural fairness. Our source text impartially details several specific workplace challenges faced by women. These include verbal or behavioral discrimination, being denied lead roles in high-risk projects, navigating personal security vulnerabilities, and sexual harassment, or being denied promotions due to pregnancy. Understanding these systemic realities is literally the first vital step to dismantling them. So, how can organizations actually help? The text outlines 3 clear steps. 1. Ensure absolute parity in working conditions. 2. Introduce supportive maternity and childcare policies. And 3. Actively gender-sensitize employees. Implementing things like childcare leave isn't just about compliance. It's about engineering a system where every single individual has an unhindered runway to reach their maximum professional potential. All right, Section 5, putting it all together. Let's synthesize what we've covered today. As our source material wisely puts it, remember, it is always good people who achieve great things professionally, in the true sense of the word. Technical skills will absolutely get you in the door, but standing out? That requires blending personal etiquette with a deep respect for both cultural differences and systemic workplace equity. That is what makes you a true leader. As class is dismissed, I'll leave you with this final thought for our explainer today. Take a hard look at your daily routines. Are your interactions actively building a more inclusive workplace, or are you unintentionally letting outdated habits hold you back? The modern workplace demands nothing less than your absolute best. Thank you so much for attending this masterclass, and go apply these lessons the very next time you step into the office.